Hi, my name is Rose Reevely. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and I'm here today talking about something or some really good news. And that is that Saturn, the planet that represents or is called the karmic indicator, goes direct on Wednesday, September the 18th. So this is really exciting news. And you'll hear a lot of astrologers talking about this right now. So what does that mean for you? And we'll talk about that a little today, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding of what Saturn does and even maybe how Saturn operates in your life. So let's look back for just a moment. Saturn turned retrograde on April the 30th, and it turned retrograde at 26 degrees of Sagittarius. And since that time, it's only moved about 7 degrees. So this tells you that Saturn is a very slow moving planet. Saturn is a planet with many nicknames, and you probably heard of some of them. One is called Father Time, and the reason for that is that Saturn is the planet of time. It's our karma, right? Time is karma, and karma is time. So Saturn is the planet that can grant longevity of your life, depending on its house sign location in your natal chart. Another name for Saturn is Taskmaster. Taskmaster. Now you get the idea, right? That means that there's work to be done. And where Saturn is in your chart is saying that there is work to be done in that area of your life. It also means it'll be an area of your life where you have to put forth more effort, more discipline will be required, more persistence will be required in that area. I'll give you an example. If Saturn is in your 5th house, then of your natal chart, then the 5th house, one of the areas that it deals with is children. And so it may mean that children, there's work to be done in that area of maybe perhaps more understanding, more patience, more discipline. These are the areas or the qualities that Saturn works with. If Saturn's in your 3rd house, then there may be karma that involves your siblings. And so it may require, or it may be more challenging for you, just having the relationship. And depending on where other planets or how they're operating, this would give more information. I'm really kind of simplifying here because the entire chart is our karma, but Saturn specifically tells us the really more specific, the areas that we'll be working with in terms of karma. If Saturn's in your 2nd house, then there's work to be done around perhaps financial obligations and even what you eat maybe, because the 2nd house deals with our finances, but it also deals with what we take in our body, with food, what we eat. The really good news about all of this is that Saturn has been retrograde for all these months and through the entire summer. And so one of the things I've noticed lately, especially in conversations with others and with readings and consults that I've done, is that people are feeling, or what I hear is that people are feeling stuck in certain areas of their lives, okay? And so this would be, feeling stuck is just the inability to move forward. It feels like no matter which way you might turn, that door doesn't seem to open for you. And so this is Saturn. But the good news is that it's about to go direct, and all of that will come to an end. We've had plenty of time to review the areas of our lives that have needed review. Saturn being a planet of responsibility and discipline, it may have highlighted those areas of your life. In other words, if there was an area in your life where you maybe had not been as responsible as you could have been, then Saturn would really have in some way shown you that or even pointed that out to you. So Jupiter is the planet that represents opportunities. And so recently, Jupiter, just in August, turned direct, and it had been retrograde through the summer. So Saturn, the connection here is that Saturn is retrograde in the sign that Jupiter rules, the sign of Sagittarius. And Jupiter is traveling 12th to Saturn. Now, what all that means, what the astrology part of that is saying, is that the opportunities have not been available because Saturn has restricted the area that Jupiter rules. And Jupiter brings all opportunities come to us through Jupiter. And so that has meant that in some way the opportunity hasn't been available to us, right? Because Jupiter traveling 12th, it says losses, expenditure. Expenditure can come not just in financial ways, right? Expenditure of time, many ways. Expenditure of health. It can affect many areas of your life. If you have felt, just for a moment, Jupiter's traveling 12th to Saturn would have meant restriction and obstacles that normally would have involved an opportunity. Maybe even an opportunity came to you during this time, but in some way there was some kind of obstacle with it, or there was a restriction put on it that you didn't feel comfortable with. So there are so many ways that this can operate in our chart, depending on where our personal planets are and the degrees of those planets. So if you have felt distance in your relationships, Saturn's direct motion now, moving forward, and Saturn is in the nakshatra of Purva Ashada, which is ruled by Venus. And so the other important part of this is that K2, the south node, deals especially with our past, with past karma. And K2 is conjunct Saturn. And really both of these planets really deal with the past, right? Saturn being the karmic indicator, what we came in this life to learn more about. So Venus is the planet of love and relationships. And we have the Saturn, the planet of karma, conjunct the south node. Now, K2 is not a planet. It's an elliptical point in the sky. But it is the south node, and it deals specifically with past lives. So you have the planet and the south node that are going to become exactly conjunct, okay? And they're traveling within a degree of each other now. So here's what's going to happen. On September 28th, Saturn crosses over or moves forward. It actually goes direct on the 18th, but on the 28th, it makes another big move, and that is that it crosses over K2. Now, I call this a crossroads because now they'll be traveling opposite each other, right? Saturn will be moving forward. K2, the nodes always travel in opposite direction. So this represents a completion of karma. Whatever house, not sign, it's in the sign of Sagittarius, but whatever house that Saturn and K2 has been traveling through for you, it means that you have had a completion of some karma that you have been working on while Saturn and even Jupiter were retrograde. Now, this stuck energy that I was talking about earlier will evaporate. K2 evaporates. It's what you cannot. It's almost like a vapor. I use the word vapor a lot when I talk about K2, because sometimes you can just barely see it and then it's just gone. The point is that at this time on the 28th of September, there will be a completion of karma. Saturn will be moving forward. K2 will continue to go in the reverse. Now, Purva Ashada is a star that both Saturn and K2 are in currently, and it's ruled by Venus. And so there's a really deeper meaning here with relationships, and even you'll see relationships that of long time, that have been maybe 25, 30, or even longer years, will begin to, you'll see this, will begin to unravel or fall apart. This is Saturn and K2. So these relationships have been changing. The change has been in the works for some time, but now we'll begin to hear about the change. Now, the same day that Saturn crosses over K2, we have a new moon in the sign of Virgo. Okay, and new moons signify where things are changing, but it's also a time where you can connect with the angels, you can connect with the gods or God, whoever that supreme divine being is for you. You can ask for what you desire. This is a great time actually to plant the seed, to manifest in a way of planting and planning. So there's always assistance there for us, and we sometimes forget that, right? But there's always assistance through prayer, through rituals, and just asking for help. I'm going to give some predictions for each sign in terms of the Saturn and K2 conjunction and how that's going to be shifting for you, because I think this is so exciting. So let me begin with Aries, the first sign of the natural zodiac. Saturn and K2 has been transiting through your 9th house, Aries. So this would have involved matters that deal with your father, perhaps, with your guru. If you've been trying to publish something and you've ran into obstacles. If you travel long distances and you've been in that in the line at the airport, right, waiting for, just waiting, feeling like you're suspended in time, right? Saturn will now remove all of that because it'll be going direct. And so all of these areas that I just mentioned that you may have experienced some obstacles in, now that door will open for you. Taurus, Saturn and K2 would have caused issues with finances. If you work in the area of a commission structure or a bonus structure, or an area where you make money from others' money, financial planning, day trading, these sorts of areas, or even if your partner worked in this area, Saturn would have caused a blockage here for you. Now that will clear up. Okay, that's always good news, right? To see finances being cleared up. The block is gone now and the door opens, and therefore money pours through to you. That's a great thought, and something even to maybe meditate on. Gemini, Saturn and K2 would have caused issues within your spouse, your mate, your husband, your wife, even your business partner. If you're in business and you have a business partner, then Saturn could have affected both of these areas of your life. That will clear up. You will have what you need now, both, I'm going to say, intellectually and a heart knowledge of how to move forward with your life, right? That's really what we want to know astrology for. The next sign is Cancer. Saturn and K2 would have caused issues with your health, right? Your health in some way. And this is also your daily routine. Well, our health and our daily routine go hand in hand, right? And so you might have even felt some melancholy. You might have felt really kind of sad and down and depressed while Saturn and K2 have been traveling so close. But now it could have affected you on an internal level in some unusual way even. But now with Saturn's direct motion, all of that, that learning that you needed, maybe even that piece of knowledge that you needed to help with your health, if it was a health matter, something that you integrated into your daily life. Okay, that'll clear up. Leo, Saturn and K2 would have caused issues with your children, and or matters that deal with speculation, Again, if you invest, if you're an investor and or you're a day trader, and I bring these up because these are people who deal directly with money day to day. It's part of their daily routine. Saturn would have caused some frustration in that area. It would have changed up the way things are being done. And that is really happening. So the next sign is all of that will begin to clear up for you. You'll know how to move the ball forward. Virgo, Saturn and Ketu would have affected your home in some way, or even it could have had an impact on your mom, your siblings, or again your parents in general. Maybe you have not been at home as much as you would have preferred. Or maybe you've not had access to your home in some way. At any rate, Saturn and Ketu would have caused something unusual around your home. You might have had a lot of remembrances about your past and your home. So this will begin to also, again, that understanding that you need, or the completion is there, because you're going to be moving forward. Libra, Saturn and Ketu would have caused issues with your siblings. Maybe you didn't feel as close to them as you would like to feel. And now is the time that you can put the correction in place. You would know now, hey, maybe we can FaceTime once a week. Maybe we can talk on the phone a little more often. But you will have the knowledge that you need and the understanding that you need to move forward and make a more complete, have a more complete feeling with anything that felt void or lacking with Saturn and Ketu. The next sign is Scorpio. So Scorpio, for you, financial matters and even the food that you eat is changing. Finances during this time have probably been reassessed by you, Scorpio, being ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of intelligence. And so you know by now what you need to do. And you know by now the changes that you need to make. And even with food, food affects our consciousness. And so you're probably changing up some of the foods. Or maybe you're removing some foods, perhaps sugar or something, or dairy, something that is not set well with your constitution Ayurvedically in the past. You're going to clear that up now. And these are both really important to your health and your wealth. Sagittarius, Saturn and Ketu, yes, has changed your belief system, which is very hard to pinpoint, right? It's very hard to just say that's so obvious. But it's your feelings and even maybe your direction, your dharma, the direction that you're taking with your life, may have changed and likely has in some way. So this has happened over time. Again, Saturn is Father Time. And so it could have caused also, Saturn Ketu here, could have caused some issues with your health, particularly your bones. You could have had some problems with your back, or just the bones. Saturn rules the bones, the skeletal system of the body. And so you could have had some health problems here. Maybe knees, back, shoulder, whatever it is, the skeletal system, again, is ruled by Saturn, the planet Saturn. But now you'll begin to feel better, and you will probably maybe even put some things into action that you hadn't before, okay? Maybe some cautiousness there. But this will all open up for you, and you'll begin to move forward with that healing. Capricorn, Saturn and Ketu have caused issues with, if you travel if you travel often and you travel abroad, then you would have had issues with that energy. Again, maybe just traveling, being stuck in a place and you can't get out or you can't get in, right? Remember, Saturn is a planet with rings around it. And a lot of times it makes us feel as if we can't get out of a situation and we can't get into a situation that we want, right? So this is Saturn's energy and how it operates on a very subtle level. The good news is for Capricorn, this has been a great placement for spiritual practices and discipline, spiritual discipline, and just bringing your spiritual practice alive and making it part of your everyday routine to the point where you feel as if maybe meditation or reading or whatever your practice is, maybe it's chanting, that you just can't do without that in your life. It's got to be, it's part of your life as much as breathing. And so Saturn and Ketu would have really helped you in this area. Good for development of spiritual practices for the sign of Capricorn. Aquarius, also ruled by Saturn. Saturn and Ketu have been traveling through your 11th house of friendships and groups and organizations. Now, it's likely that all of this has made a change for you since April. You may have changed schools. You could have gone off to college, or you could have just switched in your educational system, and this would have changed also your friends, right? Because when you change schools, you get to know other people, you get involved in other organizations and other groups and meetups and that sort of thing. So now you will move on and you will acquire new friends and you'll belong to new groups. And this is always a fun and exciting thing. Pisces, Saturn and Ketu has been transiting your career house. And this is your 10th house. And so this has made you feel, you Pisces, you have been suffering from some career burnout, right? And you've really been feeling stifled and stuck for some time. And you're in a situation that maybe perhaps of a lot of responsibility. Remember, Saturn is the planet of responsibility. And so you're ready to be out of that and maybe take on new and different areas of responsibility. Okay, so this is, you've been feeling a little bit like I say, like a bird in a cage, right? It's just, you have been taking that responsibility, but now you feel like you have completed a part of your life. This will open up now. Your ruling planet Jupiter went direct in August. Now Saturn will open the doors for your opportunities to come to you that you have earned. Okay, so let me just say, for Capricorn and Aquarius, this is such a relief to have Saturn. This is their ruling planet. And to have your ruling planet move direct means that your life now moves forward and you feel some sense, probably a large sense of relief, just as Pisces and Sagittarius felt that relief whenever Jupiter went direct in August. And indeed, it affects every sign of the zodiac, but as we've just seen, in different ways. So this is fantastic news that Saturn will turn direct on September the 18th. And by the way, if you are interested in having a Vedic consult or understanding, really getting an understanding of what this means for you, because it truly is big that Saturn has turned direct, or if you just want to understand where the opportunities are going to be for you in the upcoming months, I would love to do a Vedic consult or a Vedic reading for you. You can reach me through my website. It's rosereevleyastrology.com, or you can email me at rreevley10@gmail.com. Now, my last name is spelled R-E-V as in Victor, E-L-E-Y, rreevley10@gmail.com. Thanks for listening today. See you later.